The next 7 days have gone by in my 28-day challenge, and I've continued reading my books, listening to podcasts, and documenting my thoughts. So I'm making another recap video of some of my key takeaways from these sections to share with you all. And firstly, what stuck out to me was a section I read in the Good Vibes, Good Life book by Vex King. And it was in the section called Part 5, Manifesting Goals, Mind Work. So it was all kind of about how your mind is responsible and powerful for things that can become in your life. And I was kind of talking about this in the previous section, but it circled back around again. And I learned about the importance of positive thinking, in that positive thinking is the act of choosing ideas that empower you over those that limit you. So what I learned is that if you can surround yourself with people that influence these positive thoughts, and even if they're not going to come from people around you, then it kind of has to come from within. And then this kind of feeds into one of the next topics I covered, was that they were talking about how to rewire your negative thoughts, and this came in a podcast in the Mindset Mentor with a speaker named Rob Dial, and he was actually touching on the fact that people can become addicted to negative thoughts, which I thought was interesting, because when people think of addiction, they don't think of thoughts. They think of like drugs or alcohol or something that's necessarily like directly bad for your body, but negative thoughts are just as bad if you feed into them, and you can become addicted to them, and in the sense that your mind will just go right to it right away, and you won't even figure out that this is happening. So if it is an addiction, a way that he told us that we can try and combat it is by being aware that this is happening. So he advised us to be aware that they're happening, and then kind of immediately replace them with positive thoughts if possible. It's way easier said than done, but it's a start. Next, I listened to a podcast that talked about pressure, and I thought this was interesting because it directly relates to me. I've been playing a lot of tennis matches with my team lately, and I'm always finding myself in pressure situations, so I was intrigued to learn more about how to handle pressure. One tactic to help with pressure that I learned in the Tennis IQ podcast was that we always are putting these expectations on ourselves that, like, we should win, we should play well, we should do this. The first thing that we should do is stay in the present moment and stop jumping ahead to the future, and stop thinking about like what should happen, when we need to just take it like one point at a time and just focus on what can you do well in this moment. And if we focus on every individual moment, then it will all add up to a good outcome before we even know it, and before we are even thinking of that. So we can't control the results, we can just control the process, so there's no need to jump forward to the end. And this is something that I can bring into my matches in the future. And lastly, for this section, another key takeaway was in the Good Vibes, Good Life book by Vex King. He was talking about really pursuing a dream, and how some people try and take the easy way out and say they don't have enough money, they don't have enough resources, they don't have this, they don't have that. But he was saying how really, if you're driven enough, all of that doesn't matter. And if you want to achieve something, you just have to be proactive, go the extra mile. He used the words, pour your heart and soul into everything you do regarding this activity, and everything will kind of lay itself out before you know it, because you're just putting everything you have into this goal, and everything will just work out.